Legendary.
Got this VOD from Colty, King's Row attack. I'm sure most of you have already seen this. Just want to jump right into it. Enemy team has a pretty good King's Row comp. I don't really like Tracer on this map, but she can work. They're running Ryan Zarya, which is excellent for this map. McCree synergizes well with the more tanky comps. Mercy, the best solo healer there is. And Junkrat is very good on King's Row defense. So overall, pretty good comp. We're running a very similar comp, except we have a Widow instead of a Tracer, and a Zen instead of a Mercy. So overall, our damage is going to be similar to this team, but we have far less sustain just by the mere fact that they have a Mercy. I know it sucks, but it's just kind of how it is right now. Zen has the lowest healing output out of any of the supports in the game, except for Symmetra. I believe it's like 30 heals per second, and it's single target, obviously. Transcendence is super strong. You can nullify multiple ults with that ability. Trance is super valuable. But solo healing as Zen is very difficult. So, spoiler alert, we managed to win this map, but it is kind of a struggle through and through. I think the three of us did a pretty good job of clutching at certain points, but yeah, it wasn't the easiest map, I'll just say that. Colty started recording right at about a little after 2 minutes left in the game. So as you can see, we've already been struggling quite a bit. You can see by their positioning that they've already adapted to our Widow McCree. So they're holding back behind the hotel. We're just getting some poke in. Our Junkrat runs in and kills himself like an idiot. So Colty had to turn and fight that Tracer, right? He didn't really have a choice. I think we were just a little overzealous in our positioning there, when it kind of just... all it took was for the Tracer to push Colty, and then they pushed us, and I died. Right? That's just the end of it. So for us to make our comp work, we gotta get a pick, right? Not the other way around. So I think we kind of just struggled like this for the entire time until the very end of this attack. And our Widow just swaps Bastion. It's always hard to tell if this is like a troll or if this guy like thinks that Bastion's the pocket pick here. You can never tell, right? But Tyre gets a couple, Mercy pops ult, res 2. Just kind of back and forth. Everyone's using ults. It's a losing fight for us. There's 15 seconds left. Colty has to kill the Tracer, which he does. And now it's just like him and me, and I think Taurus is respawning right now. But we just gotta go. And I gotta try to make something happen. Grab doesn't yield, but we do get them low, and eventually they just kind of crumble. Taurus shows up with a nice pin. Did he get a pin? No, I think that McCree killed her as he pinned her. So we barely get the point, right? Wasn't easy. Bastion's not bad pushing through streets if you can set them up. Either setting them up on cart or setting them up like if you can get to high ground, it could be decent, but probably in pubs you just want to put them on a cart, if I were to guess. So overall, his alt fire usage is pretty good. He's being pretty conscious of his Harmony Orb, which is very good. You know, as a solo heal, you always have to prioritize your healing side of your kit, right? Just like with Ana, if you're solo healing with Ana, you want to generally save your nade for healing, not for killing. When you're solo healing a Zen, your priority is Harmony Orb, because that's basically all you can do. This McCree is pretty good. He gets a lot of these kind of plays on us throughout the game, but it's just tough being Zen in this situation. It's really tough. Taurus and I are the front line, essentially, so we're doing what we can to keep the push going, but... So, that was unlucky. The Rhine got a 3-man shatter, and as soon as they hit the ground, Colty hit Q to save them. But he got all 3 of them lined up so that he could get a Fire Strike and finish them off before Colty could save them. So, Colty had the right thought there, he just got a little unlucky. That was a dope shatter. Lúcio time. So obviously Lúcio is something Colty is very good at. Lúcio is a much better solo healer than Zen, even though he's an off healer. Because he can do way more healing, right? Especially AoE healing, and especially with tanks. And his speed boost is a very good way of enabling Taurus and I. As sluggish as we are, we can do a lot of damage, but the speed boost really enables you to pop off as tanks. He is a solo healer though, so much like I said earlier, he's going to want to prioritize healing. He's going to want to stay on healing for most of this map, right? Which he does a pretty good job of doing, and I think he realizes right away. So, not much to say about that. Lúcio. Colty is an aggressive Lúcio player. Everyone knows that. Colty knows that. And he's even told me in the past that he's had somebody review his VOD and tell him that he needs to chill out. Some of that I agree with, but not fully. I think the crazy aggressive Lúcio playstyle has its place, and it works even within the pro scene. There are pros who play like this, and they do like make plays, but a lot of it's about judging when you can play like that, right? You can't always be that Lúcio. If they got like a show-stopping McCree, you can't fucking speed boost down the wall and expect to like boop somebody into the pit here, right? Because that McCree's gonna fucking kill you. So a lot of it just has to do with judgment, tracking enemy abilities, which I think Colty does a decent job of doing. I would suggest that you track things like flashbang, things like, you know, like bear trap even, or bubble, because bubble blocks boops now. So the more you keep track of those abilities before you go in for the aggressive play, the aggressive boof or finisher, the better off you're gonna be. But your mechanics are excellent. I mean, shit, you got almost like 300 hours of Lúcio, so like I knew this part of the VOD would be pretty easy. But holy shit, I was laughing at this shit earlier. This is ridiculous. Watch this, man. So Colty's just like doing Colty shit, right? Our Winston gets on cart, dies right about here. And now it's just Colty. It's Colty versus 5. He's got our Widow in the back who's not doing dick, but Colty's on the cart. And rightly so, that she kills the Mercy. But look at this shit. They aren't even trying to kill him.
Holy fucking shit, guys. Oh my god.
So we got 4-person grab there. Didn't get the Mercy, so she comes in, tries the clutch. It was a good boop on Zarya. It's just the last ditch effort by both ends. Everyone popping ults. Tor shatters the Rhine. Yeah. So it wasn't the easiest game in the world. But after first point, we kind of got our shit together. I think the Lúcio swap was really well thought out. Colty doesn't play main healers, so I don't expect that from him. He plays Zen and Lúcio, which is totally fine. So I think as a Zen and Lúcio player, he did a great job. I probably would have just started out with Lúcio at the very beginning of the map. But yeah, I think that's about it for this. I hope you guys learned a couple things. Colty's Lúcio is not the easiest thing to be critical of, because the only thing I can really judge is his decision making, like when he's on heal and when he's going in. And I think overall he's got a pretty good handle on that. Obviously, just working on ult tracking, ability tracking, and just kind of getting in the enemy team's head a little more will ultimately enable you more as a Lúcio player with your playstyle. So I would definitely say work on that. But yeah, please send me more VODs, everyone. I like doing it, and I learn a little bit more about analysis every time I do it, so I'll get better. But yeah, keep sending them. Thanks, guys.